Anyway, let's talk a little bit about sports business because some of these are not like the others.
Yeah, what you got here?
So you can stop me when something starts to sound a little funky. Me and you, as we're kind of doing a business here, pretty much, and we're on the mission to growth here. So which one of these sounds funny? So in the sports world, there's this idea of a revenue split. Whenever you make profit or whatever, who gets what and how much of that what do you get? So the NFL, which is our gold standard for leagues and the Americas at least,
the number one sort of sports business in the world. I think that's safe to say for the most part. There are some Euro leagues and whatnot. The business structures of those are also kind of fun because they're like companies of companies.
Yeah, my brain would explode. But in the NFL, on a revenue split, it is 50 to 42 owner to player. In the NHL, which is your favorite, they are 50-50 owner to player. MLB, 51.5 to 48.5 owner to player.
Splitting some very fine hairs here with the MLB.
The MLB is really wanting to lay down the line there. The NBA is 51 to 49 owner to player. And then the WNBA is 42 to 16 to owner, NBA, and investors.
Now, yeah, that raises some question marks here of who are these investors?
So they're...
And why are they not considered owners?
I learned about this a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't brought it to the podcast because we've been covering so much, and I said, there ain't nothing going on now.
Sure.
So why not talk about it now? So the WNBA business model is, of course, 42% goes to the owners. That's sure, whatever, 50, whatever it is. That makes sense. 42% another 42% goes to the NBA owners. And then the 16% goes to investors who help grow the league.
Now that's a very interesting sort of thing. And I'm not quite sure because other leagues have had to normally it's your owners who are the investors, quote unquote, and it's like their money that they spend to grow the league that they are a part of. So is that just like a function of the W being a newer, small league that had to kind of bootstrap themselves up to get started, or?
I don't know why they have this model. I would assume you are correct. The idea of having these investors is they're not tied to any team and they are giving money to the league to use for their growth and business leisures and things like that.
It's interesting because I was trying to see if I can find what the unrivaled revenue split is. Because I assume it's much more equitable to a 50-50.
I thought about putting that in there, and then I forgot.
Just because we know that Nafisa and Brianna kind of very specifically made the league in an attempt to set the new standard of what becomes the expectation for how to pay professional women basketball players.
So I think the way they have it is the players are 100% in the unrivaled because it's all player owned. All the players get a 15% split, and that I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it as it grows and whatnot, but I think it's enough because there's 6, I think, unrivaled teams.
Okay. So they are doing there's a salary pool and then a revenue pot that the players split. So there's a few different bits going on here. Yeah, something about the unrivaled players split a 15% league equity pool. The percentage from the player pool is determined by several factors, including how many years the players signed for and their other pro basketball accolades.
So I think it's player by player specific on how you get paid out in the unrivaled league.
Because you get your contract, and then you get your revenue share.
And I don't think everyone's going to be equal because I would assume as Nafisa and Brianna are the founders, they probably get a little bit more of the juice than someone else.
Yeah, the thing about the other basketball accolades makes me think that they're definitely taking care of the other all-stars and MVPs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, to come because those are the people that people are going to want to come see. So you may get a little bit more of the bite back for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's different. So the WNBA is, I'm going to use the word special because it is special.
It's a unique model. Yeah, they're kind of specifically designed to break this mold.
Kind of. So the players get no revenue at all. So that means if you go to the WNBA shop right now and you buy whoever your favorite player is, and Nafisa would be up there, you go buy a jersey for Nafisa gets no money for that.
Versus all the other leagues.
Yep. If you went and you bought Bo Nix jersey right now, Bo Nix gets a kickback for some of that. He gets 49% because it's the NFL. 49% of that will go
That's
to
a
Bo Nix.
wildly good cut.
Yeah.
Out of the jersey sales. I doubt the NHL is that good.
The NHL is 50-50.
No, yeah.
Yeah, they're 50-50. So whatever, all the money that goes into whatever profit and revenue, they split it 50-50 between the players. The NHL is the only one that does that.
Well, good for us. Good old Canadian ethics there in business.
The crazy thing is, right, the WNBA is, I'm going to say, so growth hungry, is that the only time players get money that it, like a revenue share of money is when the league grows. So like last year they expected it to grow by 20%. So the players got half of that. So they got 10%.
Which is what, and I think I saw a thing about how they're part of the big challenge for the players' side of negotiations on this coming one is trying to maximize the value out of like the huge burst that Caitlin Clark kind of specifically, along with Angel Reese and the new class of talent coming in have generated for the league, which has been estimated by some people to be like over $1 billion worth.
Yeah, I'm curious how they deal with something like the double dipping and stuff, because a lot of the NBA owners also have WNBA teams. That's like one of the ways you can kit a WNBA team, and which is why Denver does not have one yet, because the Cronkies haven't put their foot into the game quite yet. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. But like if you are getting 42% as an owner, but also whatever profit is going to the NBA, you're also going to get...
If you're getting some of that 16% investor kick too, or is that...
No, the 16% investor kick is just straight back to the investors. It's like a dividend sort of thing.
Okay. Interesting. Because like if you were, say, a billionaire who owned a team, mm-hmm. but then also, say, had a like... sports drink brand or something who then sponsored the league or something, wouldn't you get...
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I think that would apply too. Yeah, okay. you could almost like triple dip on what the WNBA does for profits.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a very much a non-standard thing, and I do imagine that the next sort of CBA will have to have some modeling for like how to address that in the future.
I don't know what their plan is. I understand why the NBA is involved, but also like 42% is so much for some, like you're not really doing anything for the WNBA as a whole for the most part. Like if you have owners that are already owners of the NBA team, sure, like they allow you. Like the NBA does allow them on their networks when there's like games all day or whatever.
Yeah,
but like there's nothing. I don't know what you're doing that equates to the 42%.
That is hugely like just you are our kind of baby sport, and we will continue to.
I just don't know how you grow from there, because the players hate it. I know that for sure. That much I did, and I don't know how you work that into the CBA. I think everyone's going to be very resistant. Not only like the investors for sure aren't going to want.
Yeah, no one in that equation is going to want their number to go down.
Correct.
Of that split, and
you have to. The players are going to want something for sure. Like that is without a doubt what I would expect to be in the CBA, and probably what we might end up striking over. But I don't know where it's going to come from, and it's not very good for growth overall. Like there's no incentive for players to like. It is the biggest league, and they're not paying very much because the Unrivaled League is already paying players so much better for the short season they have. Why would I not? If this does not work, why would I not take the Unrivaled and do something more special out with because I already have a lot of the connections I need as like brand ambassadors for a bunch of things and whatnot. I could do my own thing over here.
Yeah, 100%. And I have seen some discussion about, is it a conflict of interest for Nafisa and Brianna to both be heads of the Unrivaled League, like founders there, and also lead negotiators for the WNBA Players Association, when their Unrivaled League stands to see more success if the Players Association were to go on strike?
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that's kind of like a 1-in-1 situation. It's like the PLL and the NLL. Like they are kind of holding hands together. No one in lacrosse gets paid a whole lot of money, and respectively to Devin Booker $72 million that he's about to get a year. But at the same time, like, why can we not work together and sort of do this such that I can make a living as a professional athlete, as sort of the fame I bring on?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that I don't think those two, like, in particular would be of that mindset to be like, we'll tank the negotiations with the WNBA so that our unrivaled league, like, you're in year 2 on that. It doesn't make sense from a growth point of view. You can't handle all of the WNBA players in the being in the unrivaled league all of a sudden.
No, you cannot, not from a growth perspective, but there is the bargaining chip of we can take
some of your best players.
We will take the best players out of here and go do what we want.
Make sure they can still play basketball.
Yes. Which would be catastrophic to the WNBA as the sport still grows.
Yeah, for sure. Out of curiosity and just looking it up here, the PWHL also has no formal revenue sharing model built into their current bargaining agreement.
Because they're private.
They are, I mean, that's the one billionaire owns the whole thing. So.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm not going to touch that one. That one is like it's like, what can you do with it? He owns the whole thing.
Yeah, you get whatever scraps he deigns that you are worthy of.
Yeah, I can't tell the guy to, no, this is not how it's done. He owns it.
That's an unfortunate form of that model. But I suppose the other side of that is they are not reliant on kicking back a cut to the NHL.
I think I'd almost prefer one owner over the model that we have, because there is the incentive there. As an owner, I can kind of dip in, but as the sole guy,
you have to keep the whole thing floating. I get
the whole thing and make all the decisions and all the profit. I get to say who gets what and decide. Mm-hmm. So that's almost better.
Definitely a little telling, though, that the women's leagues have such far more lopsided sort of structure for how those financials work out.
I just think there's a better way, better model to do it all. Like I said,
clearly it's the NHL where no one gets that much money.
That is a way. I think the WNBA players would die for an NHL contract.
The 50-50, yeah, absolutely.
Well, not even the 50-50, but also just a salary. They would, if they could get a Nathan McKinnon money, or they.
Oh yeah, for Nafisa to make $12 million a year or something off of.
They would, if they maxed out at Sidney Crosby, even that would be.
Yeah, the 7.
Yeah,
8.7.
Yeah,
that'd be huge for them. And I mean, based on the numbers, you think from how much like sponsorship and media stuff is built into the league, you'd think they could swing those numbers by now, but here we are.
Here we are, indeed.